exiting my trailer in my flip-flops, American shorts, Able Crane t-shirt, which is a company, and it's pretty hot. Shed's a little messy, but that's okay. There's my dad's lawnmower, which costs $6,500, but you know what tax does? That makes it $7,000. And this is an industrial grade lawnmower, which means the standard issue lawnmowers are not this decked out. Namely, this piece is typically missing. These don't exist, but my father somehow found an industrial grade version of this bad boy, Maverick. It's a great lawnmower. It works like magic, because what you do is you sit in this ultra comfortable chair and you bend each of these, another one, with each of your hands, and with rotating and twisting these, you can twist this whole lawnmower. And actually, with my dad, he drove this in from the shed door. He drove this in, but this is facing 180 degrees. And by just pushing one of these forward and the other one back, he made this like magic, like poof. And then suddenly, when he just tilted those, it so rapidly, it went 180 degrees in a spot, like it didn't move. It stood in place and it went 180 degrees and it flipped reverse. So I thought I'd say about how I shouldn't exist, because my great-grandpa, Pedro Gonzalez, was born in America, but his name is Pedro Gonzalez, and I wish I had a picture to show you, but I'll just tell you, because I don't. He particularly had extremely, like never before seen skin so dark that you would think from first glance that he is not Mexican, he is black. That's how dark his skin was. So, Pedro Gonzalez was born in the year 1920, July something, 1920. And age 18, he joined the army. And when he was 24, June 6th, 1944 came. And what happened June 6th, 1944 was our President of America chose to invade Europe. And we invaded Omaha. Disaster. The Germans were ready at Omaha. The Germans were very equipped with their machine guns. And they devastated Americans on Omaha Beach. However, my great-grandpa Pedro Gonzalez did not infiltrate Omaha. He invaded Normandy. And to let you know, 2 weeks after invading Normandy, 2 weeks after June 6, 1944, so it's still June, but late June. What happened was 2 weeks after the invasion of Normandy, the Germans, they overwhelmed my great-grandpa and his closest comrades and allies, and they made them all prisoners of war. And shortly thereafter, I'm just making an assumption here, but I'm assuming that there was one German that was an executioner, and he had the prisoners of war blindfold themselves. And so they would stand there with the blindfold around their eyes, can't see a thing, they're all scared. And this German executioner began shooting them each in the back of the head. And that German, he put the burning barrel of the gun that he just killed Americans with, he put the burning barrel to my great-grandpa's head. He let him feel the burning muzzle. And my great-grandpa knew at that moment, he knew that he was about to meet his friends that just died. He heard them die. He heard everything. It's all in presence, so it's all around him. And he was very, very aware that not one or two, no, many Americans, many of his friends were just assassinated by this ruthless Germans. And what happened was, to my great-grandpa's benefit, what happened was that the German executioner, the entire time, he was talking in German, which we don't know. Nobody knows German. We don't know. We can only assume by the tone of his voice. And what happened was, the executioner man, he began shoving my great-grandpa around, and my great-grandpa was in a blindfold, and this executioner German, he began getting more and more frantic with his voice, like raising his voice more and more, and then he began yelling at these other Germans. They're screaming at each other, screaming at each other. Not like screaming, but they're very aggressively talking to each other. And you see, what ultimately happened was, while they did kill the white man, when they got to my great-grandpa, you have to remember, his skin is extremely dark. It's so fucking dark. It's so dark. It's dark. It's almost black. It's special skin. He's not white. He's not like the other white people. He's something else. Look at him. He's not white. He is something else. He's from a different land. He's from a different something else. He's not American. He can't be American. Just look at his skin. He's not white like the Americans all are. Look at that skin. It's something else. And so they put my great-grandpa, they attempted to put him into a concentration camp. But shortly thereafter, even more Americans came and liberated the prisoners of war that were still alive, including my great-grandpa. And my great-grandpa came home to his wife, Estella, a very tiny woman, and she's near the age of 100 right now, and she's in North California. My great-grandpa came home to his wife, Estella, and they had some fun. They gambled, they drank alcohol, they smoked cigarettes, they had a lot of fun, and they had 3 daughters. My Aunt Mona, my Aunt Yoli, and my Grandma Marianne, my mom's mom. And I can't tell you how often I think about how I should not exist. I should not exist in this world, because my whole existence depended upon the fact that my great-grandpa Pedro Gonzalez did come home. He did have 3 daughters, the youngest daughter being my mother's mother. What a world. What a freaking world. If all you do is kill a man and he can't have any children, he can't have any children's children, which is me. Because I'm the son of the mother of the daughter of the great-grandpa that went to World War II and survived and overcame Normandy, even overcame the Germans and their execution. Oh man, my great-grandpa, I have to let you know, he was until the grave, because he passed away in 2001 or 3. He was 88, I believe. But the entire time he was alive, he kept quiet. He did not talk about what he did over in Europe. He was very quiet about what he did over in Europe. He did not like to talk about it. And that's that.